you're doing well. And today we're going to talk about day 2 of Pickwick. What I was doing there was basically throwing around a wacky rigged Zinkerz. I had a little, let me grab it, 1/20th ounce Nico shrooms I was putting in it, so nail weighting it. And then I was using a Hayabusa FPP straight. That's the 2.0. And I was just skipping this along the edge of the reeds, kind of looking for where those fish were spawning, some post spawners, fry garters, and that sort of stuff. Day 2, it was super tough. Same as day 1. We kind of had that water had dropped out on us, so it was just kind of a struggle to get bites. I was running around looking, trying to get them. So I caught one right away, skipped it underneath the dock, catch it, go to the end of the dock, catch another one. It was a short. Started running some pockets, got one under a cypress tree, fished a lay down with that swim jig. I had that Helicrawls on there from Z-Man. It's a new guy. So instead of being like a goat or something where it's kicking like this guy throws its legs out to the side and moves a lot of water. It's a really good swim jig trailer. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. And then I lost one on a swim jig. That was a keeper. I only had it hooked for a second. I think it was on a bed. I couldn't get it to come back. I did go back to that fish again later in the day, probably 4 hours later, and just still wouldn't go. So I kept working my way out. Went down to the area I started in day 1, started swimming that jig, caught another keeper, worked around there for a while, went around the corner, caught a 3.5 pounder. So I had 4, I think I had 9.5 pounds with them. And then I needed one more fish, and I worked my butt off in the last 2.5 hours. I caught a couple more shorts, but I wasn't able to ever catch another one that was a keeper. But let's look a little more at the setup I was using to wacky rig it. This is the rod I was using. It's a favorite. It's a Hex. It's a 721. It's a medium heavy, so it's a really good rod for throwing that Nico. It's got a lot of backbone to it. I can make long casts with it with this Seaguar braid. It's Seaguar Smackdown 15 pound. I really like that flash green you can see there. It's super bright colored, so it really stands out. That way, if somebody picked up my line and I didn't feel it, I could actually see it either hop or it would start slimming off. So it was very helpful that way. I was putting a Tatsu leader on there, 10 pound. That was my go-to. I'd add about 10 feet of that, so the fish just didn't see the flash green line. And look, we were talking about saying Z-Man Zinker, hooking it right through the middle. Being a last tack, you don't need to use an O-ring or anything like that, but putting that little 1/32 ounce, or sorry, 1/20th ounce weight in there, that Nico shrooms, it kind of just gave it a little bit of a faster fall. That way I could fish more areas, cover more water. And that was the combination I had with that and the swim jig. Wasn't the finish I was looking for. Ended up in, I believe, 102nd or 103rd. After the first day, I had a limit, but I only had just under 10 pounds. So the fish day 2 were bigger, but it didn't really help me. It moved me up like 3 spots. Now, after the first half of the year, after 3 events, I am sitting at 44th. I need to stay in the top 50 to make the championship, which is going to be on the St. Lawrence River. And if you know me, favorite place to go. I really, really want to make sure I make that. So I got my work cut out for me. I go catch them at Gunnersville here in mid-May. Then mid-June, I go down to the James River, and I finally finish it up on Lake Champlain. So hopefully have a strong finish to the year, make that championship, and we'll see where we go. So stay tuned, watch these fish catches. It was a grind out there, but you'll see it. You'll get to see the highlights. You'll see a couple fish get off on me and whatnot. It's just part of the day. It's part of fishing. So thanks for watching. If you do me a huge favor, please subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. The page is growing. If there's some content you want to see, make sure you let me know. And if you're in the area in Pennsylvania or even in the Northeast, and you're willing to travel a little bit, we can meet up. I do electronics classes, do a little bit of guide trips in Pennsylvania. So give me a call. So yeah, have a great day.
119, all right? For 120, thank you.
I think he'll be 15. He's long, he's thin, but he's long. Oh yeah.
Pound and a half.
There we go.
That's what we need for.
That was faster than yesterday. It's for number one. I'll tell you that much. Big enough.
Wider but shorter.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be 15 or 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not gonna be big enough.
Is it short?
Yeah. It's a 15-incher, I think.
Five like that at this point. Oh God, yeah.
I don't care what they look like.
If we got one, we got to be another one.
Oh, he came off. How does that one swallow it so much and the other one's just like mouthed it?
You like it?
Apparently. I like him. I want 2 more of his buddies just like that.
needed that real bad.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. No, you didn't make it. That's 4.